And welcome back to DK Vine Done Slow. I'm Hyle Russell. Okay, alright, come on. Yes. Alright, well, last time we played through the entirety of 50cc. So today, well, let's just make sure everything's still there. Paranoid. Yeah, gold, 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 gold. So we got golds across the board for 50cc. So this time we're gonna go up an engine size. No. Yeah, okay. 100cc it is. A little faster, not quite all the way. Yes. Can I just say how much I love that little animation of Donkey Kong? Let's study it 5 or 6 times together, shall we? Just how he puts his hand up. Almost like he's like slicking back his cowlick or whatever. Doesn't go all the way. But what a cool guy. Let's just compare the animations and how much they suck compared to Donkey Kong. He just gives us the thumbs up. Also, how weird does Mario look here? Like, this is right after Super Mario 64. Which in my mind is really where like Mario became more standardized to how he looks today, but that standardization didn't really take effect until maybe the GameCube. So you still get some wonky things, like look how thick those eyebrows are. That's weird. And Luigi goes Yahoo and he sticks up his index finger. Peach does the Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone thing, which Macaulay Culkin only does in Home Alone when he puts on the aftershave. I'm not even sure why the aftershave really burned his skin, because he didn't shave. So it only burns really. Okay, whatever. But yeah, she goes, I'm home alone. And there's Toad. Yahoo! I do like Toads. That's properly enthusiastic. Yoshi sticks out his fingers, which, by the way, Yoshi only has 3 fingers and a thumb. Oh no, maybe one's curved back there. Maybe, yeah, no, I think his thumb is against his palm there. Okay, whatever. Wario pulls on his mustache. And Bowser just opens his mouth. Bowser's just boring. Hello to Ray Day Pinball, Cotbox, and Chris in a live stream. I'll be checking in with the live stream, for I am live streaming this on twitch.tv/DKVine. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, hello. Yes, and Steve from off of Rare Gamer and Dre from off of Golden Sands blog post are both here. And Cotbox says, I love the renders for all the character icons. Yeah, you know, talking about standardization, I do miss when you could have a varied look of the characters between developers and games. I really understand why they simplified it in the GameCube era, but I do miss, especially for the Kongs, especially for the supporting Kongs, I miss when they would be in different clothing every game. Like, okay, in this one, Wrinkly's a school teacher. In this one, she's a fitness freak. In this one, Swanky's a game show host. In this one, he's a sideshow carnival barker. In this one, Funky's a surfer. In this one, he's a mechanic. In this one, he's an arms dealer. Now we just have, oh, this is Funky. He's a mechanic with less grease on him. Oh, this is Wrinkly. I mean, I like the Wrinkly's always a ghost, but you know, her ghost model never changes. All right, 100cc. Oh, hold on. Chris says, weird little thing here. The flower cup icon does not match any known fire flower. I think that is probably because there was no fire flowers in Super Mario 64. So they just came up with a new model, a new look for it. I don't think that like there was any designs on bringing fire flowers into like any planned Super Mario 64 2, because I don't think it ever got far enough in the drawing stages. But yeah, I think they just didn't have a recent example to go off of, and fire flowers can look different from game to game. Like, again, talking about standardization, I don't think they were really standardized until we probably got to what the new Super Mario Brothers era. I'm not the expert on Mario though, so I'm just speaking out of turn. I'm the expert on Donkey Kong, so I didn't get the rocket start, probably because Mario Kart Tour started a new tour this morning and I was playing a bit of that. Oh, and yeah, any acquired skills I got from last time, I feel have already atrophied. Like I explained on the last stream, Mario Kart is a weird franchise in that your skills don't necessarily translate from game to game. Each game, especially in this era, just dramatically changed from game to game. So controls, the way little things work, it's all very different. Coupled with the problem of Diddy Kong Racing coming out later this year. This year be 1997, of course. I time travel whenever I play games. Then it just became even more of a challenge to really stay good at this game. Because it's one thing if, oh yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash altered how I interact with Mario Kart, but Diddy Kong Racing changed how I interacted with N64. I call them mascot racers now, but I don't think that's really fair to call Diddy Kong Racing a mascot racer. Because most of the characters were brand new. Even counting for the fact that booze don't give me a speed boost. I didn't think those would take out Toad. There's a delayed reaction there. Whew, okay. 100cc, up in the ante as it should. Okay, Dre's giving me shit because I said Diddy Kong Racing has come out later this year. DKR on SO in September confirmed. Why September? Oh, hello to Jeffrin in the live stream as well. I talked a little last time about how this game was weird because it was the first time, of course, that the Donkey Kong Country style Donkey Kong appeared outside of a Rare game, and it came out betwixt Donkey Kong Country 3 and Donkey Kong Land 3, so it broke up the natural pairing that we had grown accustomed to. And it became even weirder when we got another kart racer later that year that, of course, I think any hardcore fan of Rare's Donkey Kong would have naturally gravitated to more, considering it was Diddy Kong's game and a Rare game, and introduced characters we knew were going to be in their own games and really set the template for the Donkey Kong universe as we know it. But yeah, Mario Kart 64 came out, like I said, in the West in February '97. At least here in the United States, and then came out in December '96 in Japan, but still between Donkey Kong Country 3 and Land 3, and so it was just this Toad. It was just this barrage of new sensations of not just Donkey Kong in a completely separate context from how we knew him in Rare's games, but also just Donkey Kong on the N64 and everything that came with that. But I think it was good. It was kind of like taking a little bit of poison to get immune to the poison, because this came out for most of us in 1997, early 1997, and it was 1999 that really saw the deluge of cameo games, as DK Vine interprets them. We classify them as cameo games because they're canonical appearances of, in this case, Donkey Kong, but they don't necessarily have as much weight as the native Donkey Kong games or the native Rare games. So, yeah, I finally got a rocket boost. Okay. 1999, at least here in the US, because again, Japan got some of these in late 98, saw Mario Party, Super Smash Brothers, the original Super Smash Brothers. Remember Super Smash Brothers was just a quaint little game and it wasn't, you know, everything. Anyway, and we also got Mario Golf for the N64 and Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color. And that was also the year that saw Donkey Kong 64 at the end of the year. Not even bringing in a Conker's Pocket Tales. But, so 1999 was really the year that gave birth to what is still very much the way Donkey Kong interacts with Mario as the supporting character in all of these side games, these competition games, generally multiplayer games. And oh shit, and it just knocks your star power right out. I wasn't expecting that. I'm so used to star power just being immovable. It's wild. Now remember, if I fall under 4th place, I think I can replay infinitely, and so that's always an option if I can't get ahead. But I also don't have to get first in every race. I just have to, yeah, triple red shell, baby. I just have to get enough points, so if a particular track gives me trouble, I don't have to win that track. Anyway, where was I? So I realize I start talking about something and then something happens. It draws my attention away and then I have to cycle back to it. Probably really frustrating if you're listening to me. This isn't a standard, like, DK Vine podcast. Even then we go on tangents. Now I'm going on tangents about my tangents. 1999 really was the birth of the cameo game infrastructure. But this game, coming out 2 years before, got us used to the idea and comfortable enough with the idea without overwhelming us with the idea. And I think that's why, for the longest time, it was still so beloved by DK Vine and the community, compared to things that we could quickly grew tired of in some cases, like Mario Party. Anyway, so, yeah. I just have to finish get a point in the next race. Toad is giving me some trouble here, but I don't have to finish first here. I just have to get on the board. And if I don't get on the board, then I replay anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mentioned, too, how this game really has the iconic cast, right? Like, it doesn't have everybody you would want nowadays, but if you're going to pick a core selection of 8 characters in a Mario competition game, stopping for the train trips me up because I'm so used to just driving right into it now with Mario Kart Tour. Like, I know Koopa Troopa fans people who really like playing as Koopa Troopa in Super Mario Kart didn't like that he was cut out, but I think it was an upgrade all around in my opinion, including swapping out the classic Donkey Kong Jr. for the modern Donkey Kong Country style Donkey Kong. Whether or not you agree that it's the same character or not really the point. I think it definitely made sense to do it this way, especially because this was a weird time for Donkey Kong and how Donkey Kong was represented outside of Rare games. Because, you know, we've talked about on DK Vine in the conversation about how Nintendo does have a philosophy about certain characters being the purview, being the property, if not, you know, legally, then at least spiritually and honorably, of certain teams, which is why you don't see Waluigi appearing in Wario games, much to the frustration, I'm sure, of Wario fans. And Waluigi fans, damn it, I didn't brake hard enough. That sucked. And during this time, we actually had two separate Donkey Kong canons. I mean, that's maybe too harsh of a way of putting it, but Donkey Kong 94 sort of gave a little remodel to Donkey Kong Sr. and Donkey Kong Jr. And from there, those iterations of the characters would appear in other games concurrent with Rare's Donkey Kong Country. Game & Watch most famously, but Mario's Tennis for the Virtual Boy. We had a couple of others. I mean, relatively minor titles, all things considered, but still appearances. And Donkey Kong Jr. wasn't even in the cards for this game. I don't know if they ever touched upon it, broached it, but he was never going to be in it. It was going to be Wario replacing him and Kamek replacing Koopa Troopa. And I believe, I want to say it was Miyamoto who made the call here that, hey, we should put Super Donkey Kong in Mario Kart 64, which is a big deal because it's Rare's baby at this point. And I believe that's why if Rare had nothing to do, I got shit for calling this a model of Donkey Kong when it's a pre-rendered sprite, but I meant model as just, you still have to model the sprite. I didn't mean model in a very literalist term, like just, I don't know. If Rare did in fact have nothing to do with making Donkey Kong for this game, then they got a credit because this was the first time he was used outside of a Rare game. So, but it did open up the doorway then for him to appear in other stuff not made by Rare, and I think that was reflected in the decision then to have Diddy Kong sort of be the front and center star of what was then Pro-Am 64 when they made this decision starting around mid-1997 to bring a character to help anchor this as its big holiday game after Banjo-Kazooie was delayed. And Rare chose Diddy Kong because from stories told, you know, they viewed Diddy as their baby while Donkey Kong was more Nintendo's baby. And so this was sort of that transition of Donkey Kong being just a Rare character, or this Donkey Kong being just a Rare character, and this just being the Donkey Kong that Nintendo uses. And the DK94 iterations would still show up in things where there was continuity for them to appear, like the Game & Watch Gallery games. But eventually, it was 2002 that saw the final appearance of those versions of the character. It was Game & Watch Gallery 4. It came out shortly after the buyout, and in fact that marked the transition because while stylistically the DK94 DK Senior, third place, and I got Lightning. Damn, I love Mario Kart 64. That never happens in later games. Maybe Super Circuit. I have to play it for reasons. later on this week. But yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, Game & Watch Gallery 4 stylistically had DK94, DK Senior, and DK Junior in games, but on the title screen, they used the rare Donkey Kong to represent Donkey Kong on the title screen. I do believe that's because that happened right after the buyout, and they quickly made decisions. Well, rare is no longer necessarily a factor, so we don't really have to respect them, and we're just going to use... We're just going to stop using the arcade style or the DK94 style Donkey Kong, and in fact, DK Jr. as well. So that had ramifications for Double Dash, because while Double Dash was in the development, well, it's still in the early stages, they planned for Donkey Kong Jr. to be the modern Donkey Kong's partner, similar to how Camelot did it in Mario Tennis, the 2000 Mario Tennis, not the Virtual Boy game. So, where are you, Toad? Man, Toad's really just been chosen as my nemesis for this race. Toad's way up there. How did that even happen? That's ridiculous. And in fact, you know what? I'm just gonna quit, and we're gonna start this one again, because that, I don't know how Toad got so far ahead. I've just been blabbing. I haven't even been paying attention. It is his turnpike after all, but what the hell. But yeah, we very nearly had Donkey Kong Jr. in Double Dash, and that would have probably just completely demolished Rare's canon. I mean, you can say, yeah, it's just like a Baby Mario situation. Time travel, it doesn't have to make sense, but you know and I know that people wouldn't take it that way. We could fan wank it away, but the general broad consensus then would be this is the Donkey Kong country's Donkey Kong's son. And Cranky was never the arcade Donkey Kong. And then that perception would set in, and over time, Diddy would just be a redundancy, at least outside of Donkey Kong games. This only would have happened had Rare been bought. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Because if one way or another things would have changed, because Rare would have been outright bought by Nintendo, or they would have left, and they left. So Yoshi is now way ahead. Damn. How did he get so... How are they getting so far ahead? Because I don't feel like I can rely on the computer players to take out Yoshi for me, because they're all just working to defeat me, not necessarily each other. There's no way Yoshi should still be ahead of me. This is ridiculous. Yeah, and Yoshi just takes... And yeah, nope. This sucks. This sucks. So anyway, there's really no telling how things would have shook out had Rare actually been bought by Nintendo, because then maybe it would have been like, hey, feel free to use Diddy. I don't know, but once the buyout did happen, then they made the decision, the correct decision, I will say, to swap out Junior and effectively retire his character permanently. Like, that incarnation of Donkey Kong Jr. would only appear in retro depictions from then on. But alright, Bowser, I'm not gonna let you get ahead of me like everybody else, Toad and Yoshi, have been. So yeah, Diddy Kong became Donkey Kong's partner in Double Dash and Toadstool Tour, which actually came out first. And it worked out. It saved the continuity. But we came really close a couple times in that era. Of course, I really like anytime Diddy is paired with Donkey Kong. It just feels right. And I like that better than just this idea of Donkey Kong having a son. Like, let's pretend like there's no Cranky Kong, or there's no, like, generational leap in Donkey Kong lore. And, I don't know, I just like this kid who looks up to Donkey Kong being his partner over... It's his son. And there's just nepotism. I feel like Diddy has earned it way more. Eat shit, Wario. Ah, I missed all of those. When Mario Kart 64 came out, I remember wondering if Diddy would ever make it into a Mario Kart game. Like, I specifically had a dream one night that they announced, I think it was a Mario Kart game for the Game Boy Color, which wasn't even out yet. Maybe it wasn't even the Game Boy Color, maybe this was just the Game Boy, because it might not have been the Game Boy Color, given the time frame. No, it'd have to just be the regular Game Boy. Anyway, I dreamt that Diddy was a character in Mario Kart for Game Boy. I don't know. It wasn't Super Circuit, it was some game my brain made up. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Why am I in second? God, I'm just gonna go with it. I just want to be done with Toad's Turnpike. Bowser was just way ahead, and I don't get it, but it's a hard track to get ahead on with all the vehicles and all the chaos. So we're just gonna go with second place and not let Bowser have that in later races. That sucks. When Diddy Kong Racing was announced, I did think, oh yeah, this is so much better than having Diddy in Mario Kart. And it was. Not to say I wasn't happy when we saw Diddy was going to be in Double Dash. I just, you know. I went right through them. Donkey Kong's a big old gorilla. He shouldn't be just going through item blocks. Look at Bowser just get out ahead. As if magic. You know what? I'm done with this shit. Once we get out of the snow wall, you're done. You're done. Get behind me. I know you'll be back magically, like Wario is magically. Ah! Didn't mean to do that. Wanted to just stay behind me. So much happening. I do feel drivers in this game are more prone to, computer drivers are more prone to just drive into whatever item you have behind you. There's no self-preservation there, at least. So while they have a ridiculous amount of magic boost to keep them neck and neck with you the entire time, they're somewhat stupid at times. And I talk about being stupid, and I just hit a snowman, and Bowser, oh, it's Wario. And there's Bowser, okay. I might have to just back off here. I can't catch Wario now. Wario's too far ahead. Yeah. I'm just going to let Peach passed me, or Yoshi passed me. Somebody passed me. Now Mario. What's happening behind me? All right, everybody pass. I'm forfeiting this. I'm resetting time. Check in with the live stream. Copbox says, funny how the rubber band keeps you from getting too far ahead, but the CPU can just fly past you. Yeah, it's not great, is it? I like Mario Kart 64 would be such a stellar game, and I think would still hold up in a lot of ways if the single player experience wasn't so fucking miserable at times. And it's just so inauthentically devilish, you know? But I don't feel bad about not being able to do this. Like, okay, and you make one little screw up, and computer players will just fly right past. I don't feel so bad about it because it's not as much a skill level. It's issue. It's just the game cheats. The game really, really cheats. And again, I don't think this was apparent to me how much the game cheated until Diddy Kong Racing. Until I actually experienced a very similar game on the same system, thematically tied with certain characters, being Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong was in this, and just realizing, oh my god, like, Crunch and Banjo were so far behind. The upshot, though, is that Mario Kart 64... How did that red shell then hit me? It should not have homed back on me. Alright, Bowser. I just have to avoid the snowman, really. Wow, Wario just drove right into the item block. Like what I was saying about self-preservation, they don't have it. But they have magic speed boost that keeps them just in the fight. See, he just drove right into the shell. So I would rather it be harder to hit anybody, and now Wario's going to be too hard to beat. But Bowser's behind me, so that should put me on equal footing for first in the rankings. Whew. I also love the Lakitu model in this game. I think it's my definitive Lakitu. Just flying around, waving that flag. So now it's a triple tie for first place because Wario got first once, Bowser got first once, and I've got second both times. So I've stayed consistent. They've leapfrogged one another. So I've got to win Choco Mountain. I don't want this to be neck and neck going into the last race. But then I just run into the wall. This game is a lot harsher too, with like hitting surfaces can just stop you dead. Whereas other Mario Kart games, when they introduced tricks into Mario Kart, I think they encouraged more fancy wheel work and bouncing off things. And you see the bridge is now gone. The problem is when you start like viewing Mario Kart as Tony Hawk, where you want to perform sick tricks and bounce off of things, then going back to a Mario Kart that discourages that to the point of penalizing you every time you brush up against something. It's hard. It's a hard thing to de-learn. not even drifting right now. I don't care. Do those boulders have eyes? I've always thought they did, but I've never really gotten a close look at them. I got one poomp there. That's disappointing. I'm in this for the poomps. Alright, I wasn't a fan of that. I was trying to... You can't fire green shells behind you when they're triple. Oh, I lost all those red shells. Okay, I'm not going to catch Wario, so I'm going to have to drop down to... Oh, there's Wario. See what item I get? Nope, not going to happen. I could have done it with 3 mushrooms, but alas, I hit the banana, and... What did you just flip out on, Toad? What was that about? Alright. I feel like I breezed through the mushroom cup, and now the flower cup is just smacking my ass, and not in a pleasant way. Dre says that they think the boulders do. They maintain they do. I will not be moved. Chris says, I hate Choco Mountain so much. Jeffrin says, 3-way with the big boys. Being Donkey Kong, Wario, and Bowser. That's another thing. I know I bring up Diddy Kong Racing a lot, but it's me. Editor-in-Chief of DK Vine. So yeah, I'm going to bring up Diddy Kong Racing every time I can. And... You know, obviously Donkey Kong, Bowser, and Wario are the heavyweights of the game, the chunks, the big bears, if you will. What I like about Diddy Kong Racing is because most of the cast are dainty little woodland animals. The conventional... Where did Bowser even go? Oh, Bowser was just... maybe he got a boo, I don't know. The conventional... thought behind who is a heavyweight is all askew. Banjo is a heavyweight of the game. I know I just said bears, but Banjo is always presented as this kind of svelte honey bear, not really like this massive... Oh, come on. That was devious placement for that fake item block. So yeah, Banjo's a heavyweight in that game. Crunch, the critter, is a heavyweight. Diddy, who is a lightweight in most of these Mario games, being a little monkey, he's a middleweight in Diddy Kong Racing. I love it. I just love how that redefines, because it's all a matter of perception, right? To Chris's point, I like Choco Mountain. All right, this... I do like Choco Mountain. What I don't like is a track full of narrow paths and very tall walls that you cannot scale in the slightest, or else you will just bounce like that. Like, you'll just bounce right off of that. It's just so counter to how I've adapted to how Mario Kart has evolved over the years, and it's not fun in this context anymore. Like, I really like it as a track, but, like, what is that? What is that? You can't even approach that at any high speed, or else you will spin out or fly up in the sky like you've been hit by a bomb. And you just come to a complete and devastating stop, which I realize is partially because I might be playing as Donkey Kong, and that might be a built-in feature of playing as Donkey Kong in this game. I'm not really sure, because I only play as Donkey Kong, but it's like when I was complaining about how miserable Double Dash was because I refused to play as anybody but Donkey and Diddy in the DK Jumbo. This track slaps, though. Like, it could be a track from Banjo-Kazooie. I wouldn't be shocked if I had learned that Grant Kirkhope composed this. as a tryout or something. Try out with Nintendo years before he would literally work with Nintendo. But it sounds like it could be from a Banjo-Kazooie game. I just like it as just this slightly twangy, but still very much in the spirit of Mario, little ditty, not to be confused with Diddy Kong, not to be confused with the Donkey Konga medley Diddy's Ditties. Yeah, I think the boulders have the same eyes that that tunnel has, Dre. I might be wrong. I might need to consult our friends at Super Mario Wiki about this, but growing up where I did, in a valley surrounded by mountains, Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, it was very common to drive on the mountain and see these signs. Haha, eat shit, Wario. And see these signs of watch for falling rocks. And so, of course, after this game came out, I would always associate it with Chaco Mountain. And of course, you imagine falling rocks as like this very literal, this is a very childlike depiction of what you imagine when you see those signs. Usually, you know, they didn't mean rocks this big. A constant barrage of boulders. No! Fuck, I was doing so well. Well, at least we demonstrated what happens when you drive off the edge. Educational. Thank God we have unlimited replay. Like, this would be the point where I'd start breaking out the save states. But trying to do it honest where I can. Try not to follow that old crutch. I do like that they make you finish, too. They don't just cut you off if you fall to 8th place and everybody else is finished. Like, no. You'll have to earn this retry by actually getting to the end. Griffin says it was clearly an intentional foreshadow for the beginning of Nuts and Bolts. Copbox says everything eventually leads to Nuts and Bolts, a crux point in the universe. Dre says, case in point, Zelda. It's a weird time for the fandom, isn't it? With like Funky Kong appearing on Saturday Night Live and Zelda just ripping off Nuts and Bolts, and it always feels like we're always 15 years ahead of everybody else, and then everybody else gets there eventually. They don't give us the credit we deserve. I say we like I had anything to do with the development of Nuts and Bolts, and I wasn't complaining like everyone else when it was announced. Got over it. I don't complain anymore. I complain sometimes. Yeah, it's still, you know, big beefy boys up front. I missed all of the item blocks. That's... I want to talk a little bit about the pipe cart, if I may. The pipe cart, of course, standard carts in Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Kart Super Circuit, and they came back in later installments as a option. They just ate up like 3 item blocks and didn't give me 1. And Wario just plopped a fake block out in front of me. Wait. You know, when they revealed that Double Dash would have unique vehicles and some, you know, custom to the drivers, like the DK Jumbo or the barrel train that only Diddy could use, Donkey Kong couldn't drive around in the barrel train in Double Dash. I didn't really like it because I like the uniformity. I like that. I don't know. It's obviously the direction to take a sequel to Mario Kart. It's obviously where the franchise was inevitably going to head anyway, but I don't know. For me, it was just... It made things too complex, especially those games where it actually did matter on your performance what vehicle you picked. Like in Mario Kart Tour, it's purely aesthetical aside from, you know, which vehicle might net you more points on a particular track. But I really like the design of the pipe carts. To me, that's just the iconic kart style. Probably even more so than the ones in Diddy Kong Racing. I love the Diddy Kong Racing cars, but these look and feel more like go-karts, where those are just miniature cars, you know? In my opinion. Honestly, I've probably seen more go-karts that look like the Diddy Kong Racing cars than these, but these just feel and read to me more like karts. And I have the action figure from the Toy Biz Mario Kart 64 line of Donkey Kong in the yellow pipe cart. So I really like that. I have the Hot Wheels of Diddy in the pipe cart. They released the Diddy Kong, who's in his pipe cart, which you don't really see too often, considering how little Diddy's been in the console Mario Kart games. Hopefully that will soon change, but God, you see that? How did I spin out? What did I spin out on? What, did I drive over banana, or did I somehow like trip over my own banana that Wario? Like I don't even know. And yeah, red shells are useless on Choco Mountain. It turns out, unless. How did Bowser just completely take the lead in such a astonishing fashion? I can't use mushrooms when I've been lightninged. Oh, yeah. I'm done. there's no rebounding. There'd have to be some minor miracle here, and nope. I've just fallen off the track, and in a way that Lakitu will not restore me. I am so far behind now. Whew. Choco Mountain used to be fun. I used to have a good time with it. And you do get more of the heavy-duty items when you're in last place, but it doesn't really do you much good, because those rivals of yours, those programmed duo of rivals, are still going to be so far ahead that there's no catching them. I did get like back up to 4th place after that catastrophe, because really, like, everybody under your rivals and maybe the backup option, they're the only true competitive computer players in Mario Kart 64. Chris says, "You're welcome to my Choco Mountains opinion camp anytime now, Hyle." I like the concept of Choco Mountain. It's just the physics of Mario Kart 64 are bringing it down. I love Choco Mountain on Mario Kart Tour, if it helps. I don't know if that's a favorite of Funky or if I just happen to play as Funky a lot on that when that track rolls around in Mario Kart Tour, but it's fun. It's fun getting to be Funky Kong in Choco Mountain. Nice thing about having the Donkey Kong Toy Biz Mario Kart 64 figure that comes with the pipe frame cart and a banana you can fire from the front and a big long chain of bananas in the back is you can then race them against your Diddy Kong Racing Banjo figure, also from Toy Biz, and your Diddy Kong Racing Toy Biz figure, and your Whiz-Pig Diddy Kong Racing Toy Biz figure. It comes in the his missile. It's a rolling version of his missile. Wario is so far ahead. Like I said, red shells are useless if they're that far ahead, as they're not going to survive the snaking mountain. See, it just spun out. Hey, Wario, how'd you fall back? No! God! He pushed me. He pushed me. Oh my god. I miss Diddy Kong Racing. This game sucks. If I keep doing it any worse, I'm going to be pining for Diddy Kong Racing DS. Dre says the battle mode is Mario Kart 64's only redeeming feature. I wouldn't go that far. Like, this is single player's biggest downfall right here. If you're playing with friends, you won't have terribly cheating AI. And let's be honest, the battle mode of Mario Kart 64, when people laud it, they're really lauding Block for it. Block for it is just such an eloquently designed masterpiece. It's the entire justification for battle mode, not just in this game, but every game since then, even though it's the only one that includes Block for it. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's like, oh, we're bringing battle mode back, and people are like, Block for it? And it's never Block for it. That's why I like that Diddy Kong Racing didn't even try. They just did something mostly different with their battle mode, at least half the time, which to me justified that. I do like the Diddy Kong Racing like battle tracks, but that are more traditionally just firing at your opponent. But I'll give Block Fort its due as the reigning champion of any battle mode between the Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing dynasties. Where are my rivals? They're so far ahead. And now Yoshi is just... Okay, there's Bowser. I just went through the item blocks. Okay. Alright. I hate this. Why can't I stay on the lane I'm supposed to be in? Oh, you just saw Donkey Kong. See, he whistled? That's when you narrowly avoid like a banana peel or something, or you narrowly avoid spinning out. I can never really actually pull it off, but I do it by accident. I'm like, I used to be like, what was that? Why did he just make a music note in a speech bubble? That's what that's supposed to be. I'm not good at it, so it just happens by accident. Apparently I'm not good at this game. At least, not in these circumstances. Jeez. I did so well with the Mushroom Cup. How did the Flower Cup just go so far off the rails so quickly? And you see, you would think, oh, this is going to cement my lead, but it's not. As soon as Bowser and Wario retain their size, they are just going to come right back for me. Okay, they're nipping up on my heels now. Yep. So desperately trying to avoid the other edge of that lane. music's gonna be in my nightmares tonight. Ugh. Bouncing on those hills, you're desperately trying not to just careen into the wall. Look at Bowser and his magical speed boost. He's using spells given to him by Kamek right now. I told Kamek he couldn't compete in this because he was too magical, but Kamek just then gave all of his dark arts to Bowser, damn it! Luigi, where the fuck did you come from? Just materialize out of nowhere. Okay, I'm legitimately stuck. Okay, what the hell was that? Fine, whatever. Ugh. Dre says Darkwater Shores. Yeah, you know, as far as a hovercraft-oriented battle track, it's pretty good. And for me, the definitive battle track in Diddy Kong Racing is still the one with the eggs, where you're just, like, I think that's clever and engaging in a way that isn't just, let me shoot my opponents. Realize it's not everybody's cup of tea, not to their taste, but that's fine. What even just happened? I swear, like, a gust of wind just pushed me off the edge there. Did I just drift? Did the power of Wario and Bowser just cause me to drift all the way off the track? Oh my god. And these mushrooms are terrible. These super mushrooms are terrible in Choco Mountain. Because you're just gonna ram into the wall. I've only now just caught up to the back of the pack. Is there a way we can just, like, shortcut my defeat? I tried to avoid the banana, and I ended up scaling the wall and tumbling anyway. And probably a more devastating effect than just slipping out on the banana would have been. And I didn't get a fucking item block. Now Yoshi's ahead. That's interesting. Yoshi has been the also-ran in this contest of wills. So if I can get in second place still, but have Wario and Bowser behind me, that will still be an okay turn of events. Like, I might just accept... Nope. But I hit a banana. Alright, I'm just gonna let this play out. Done with Choco Mountain for now. Oh my god. So Yoshi, who has been the fourth stringer here, just got handed a win. I won't say he earned the win, because that's not the way Mario Kart 64 works, but... So that puts Donkey Kong in first place now, albeit only by 3 points. So... Let's see. If I get first place next time, that puts me at 27. But I have to at least get second place, assuming Bowser finishes first or second. I think that's the way the math works out. It's fine. I'll just win. I'll just win. Of course, Mario Raceway isn't a track I'm good at. Not that Choco Mountain is a track I'm good at, apparently. I thought I was better at it than... But also these just big-ass hills. Just tired of the hills in this game. Yes, we get it. You can create big polygonal hills. Ooh, it's 1996. Ooh. Oh my god. Gotta beat both of them. Well, I want to beat both of them. Eat shit. I love uprooting the trees. Because they just go right back to the ground. Like you uprooted them so magically perfectly that they just go right back in. They never tip over. Shit. Yeah, the game really wants to hand Bowser the win. Oh! How? So I ran into Bowser who was spinning out, and it transferred the properties of his spinning into me, and I spun out. Even though I shouldn't have spun out, because the banana peel was just inert. Alright, you know what? If Yoshi gets the win here, that's fine. Because I will just mean I got second place in all of them. That will hand me the win. That will hand me the victory in the Flower Cup. Not a beautiful victory by any means. I never once finished first, but I finished stronger than Yoshi did in 2 of the races. So very limply, I get the gold trophy, and Wario doesn't get shit. I'm happy with his outcome. I'd rather Yoshi have it, considering Bowser and Wario. And Bowser only gets a pitiful bronze trophy. Ha. All that time cheating, all that time propped up, thinking they were the big men. And it's the gorilla and the dinosaur that win out. I realize Bowser is like a turtle, but it's fine. It's probably the best way this could have shook out. All things told. Look, there's Wario over there. He's gonna get bombed. I think it's mean of them not to put like X's in the dirt so they don't know exactly where they need to drive for the podium to pop up underneath them. It's a risky proposition, because what if they misjudge and they get only like halfway on and it just capsizes them and they break their necks. There's not a lot of OSHA standards in the Mushroom Kingdom, is there? Hence why they removed the railing in Choco Mountain. Alright. I'm leery to continue, but continue I must. Okay. Yes, the Star Cup. Home to Sherbetland. My least favorite. And home to 3 very long races. But at the very least, it will provide me ample opportunity to get back out in front. So, boing, 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 boing. Speaking of Donkey Kong Jr., I didn't bring this up. So we know, like, his character model has been found in assets in Double Dash. But they actually did stick him in the game, or at least they stuck his model in the game. I don't think it's literally supposed to be him, but he is a seat filler in Waluigi Stadium in Double Dash. I just take them to be generic Kongs, sort of like how originally in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, what became the helper monkeys, party monkeys, the Capuchins, were originally, they originally looked like little Donkey Kongs, like little junior Donkey Kongs. Not Donkey Kong Juniors, mind you, just junior Donkey Kongs. They changed them to Capuchin monkeys. I think it was a wise choice there, but yeah, they have Donkey Kong Jr. models filling out the seats because they didn't just use these little, like, Q-tip looking textures on the GameCube. And that's the last time Donkey Kong Jr. was used, outside of, like I said, retro-tinged appearances. Like, I have 3 mushrooms. Should I try to pull off the? I'm gonna try. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so far ahead now. So that's the infamous wall jumping shortcut in Wario Stadium. It's one of the easier ones to pull off in Mario Kart 64. There's a lot of, like, really intricate shortcuts, but you can somewhat reliably pull that off if you have the mushrooms. You can also just pull it off, you know, if you're good. But I think I put to rest any notion that I'm good at this game. I'm adequate. I know my way around it. I've spent a lot of time with it. Maybe at one point in my life, I could have made the argument that, yes, I'm good at Mario Kart 64, but no longer. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Mario and Yoshi are my rivals in the Star Cup. So it'll be interesting to see how much it takes for them to try to catch up to me now, because the game doesn't anticipate this, to get this far ahead of them. So this is a relaxing drive. Wasn't anticipating. Well, this is good too, because it'll also give Donkey Kong, assuming I can actually finish, it'll give Donkey Kong a solid win to start off the Star Cup, which will help in things like the Sherbert Land race, which I probably won't do well with, given all the penguins. Alright, made it over the gap, so there's no chance of me falling behind. So now it just, will I get blue shell, but it doesn't matter, because look how far behind everyone actually is compared to Donkey Kong. Fantastic. That was good. That was a good morale resetting little trick. Dre says ban hills. This was in reference earlier, but I don't know. The little hill trick really came in handy there. I'm certainly happy with how that went. And now to my least favorite track. I don't think I brought it up last week. People have, like, come forward and say, like, hey, this is a Wario track, because Sherbert Land is, what is it, Wario Land 3? Or not, Super Mario Land 3. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Sorry, it's not as confusing of a game title as Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, but it's the first Wario Land, the third Super Mario Land. I like Wario. I have not played enough Wario games. It is a surprising gap in my Donkey Kong / Mario shared multiverse knowledge. Weirdly, the Wario game I have played the most is the Wario game most people have played the least, which is Virtual Boy Wario Land. Oh, okay. I can't be too upset about that. I did it to myself. But look, Mario just vanished. Mario just fucking vanished like a ghost. He got so far ahead, the game just decided to magically teleport him. Or rather, the game decided to teleport him to get him so far ahead. It's disgusting either way. I like Wario as a character. I don't know why I've just never really played Wario games. Okay. Did the game just abandon Mario? It just seemed to like have him crap out and then to get Peach and Wario. And Yoshi, where's Yoshi? How did Yoshi get so far ahead? I'm so confused. Okay, there's Yoshi. Ah, yes, yes. Don't get mired in an endless loop of Sherbert Land. Okay, so Chris says, hello. Here I am to give a little bit of context to Sherbert Land. I don't know why this is becoming Shatner-esque. It's the secret world, akin to the special world in Super Mario World, and themed around ice physics. Its boss is a penguin. I imagine it's not a penguin in the Super Mario 64 mold of a penguin, though, so... Frustrating for Wario fans, I'm sure. It's like whenever they have a Donkey Kong themed track, but just stick Yukikis in it. Not necessarily a track, but just the Donkey Kong themed area in one of these cameo games. They've stuck Yukikis in there a couple times, even when they were usually faithful to Donkey Kong otherwise. Like, Mario Power Tennis had a track full of critters guarding like the sidelines, like Donkey Kong 64 style critters, mind you, and claptraps, and then they also had Yukikis rolling by in a minecart. Just like, I guess those Yukikis could be here, visiting, watching the tennis matches, but it's still, don't just put Yukikis on Donkey Kong Island and expect me to accept it, 'cause I won't. They're not Kongs. They don't look anything like Kongs. Royal Raceway, I have so much love for, and I obviously, as I talked about on the last stream, oh, what? I got so this game is so loosey-goosey and slick everywhere. Like, you can't stop nearly as fast as you can in other Mario Karts. Well, okay, I was just gonna go on about how much I love Royal Raceway, but now it's trying to make me change my mind. No, I love Royal Raceway because aside from just the ability to explore the castle grounds from off of Super Mario 64, which was just a great little bit of, as I said, very un-Nintendo-like design philosophy. Fucking hills. Might as well just, since I'm gonna lose anyway, I might as well just go over here and soak it in once again. Let me in. Let me play Super Mario 64 with Donkey Kong. Oh, look. We saw on the other side, and it's clear that there's no actual lobby of the castle. It's just a skybox. Oh, my immersion is broken. But aside from that, it's just a fun track in my opinion. Like, just it's a combination of just the aesthetics are so dreamy. It's what I like my Mushroom Kingdom to be, where it's a surreal fantasy world, but it's still very inviting. Like having this pinkish, I would imagine nearing twilight sky, but it just feels like a cherry blossom tree, and they actually added cherry blossoms on this track in later appearances. But yeah, when I think of like the Mushroom Kingdom, like an ideal of the Mushroom Kingdom, getting away from the Super Mario Brothers style, bricks and blocks and horsehair plants. What are horsehair plants? I don't know. This is what I think of. Like yeah, I could spend some time there for sure. The dash panels in this game. Whoa, that was a big poop. The dash panels in this game are seldom used in comparison to later Mario Kart, but it's funny because I don't even know if they settled on that terminology yet, dash panel. And so Diddy Kong Racing came out, and Diddy Kong Racing established their own take on it called zippers. Zippers. We're going to use these zippers. And damn if zippers aren't fun to say. It's a fun word. Zippers. Ooh, let's drive over that zipper and zip. Let's zip across this track with the zippers. And then dash panel, going back to that, and having that become the standard dash panel. I don't know. I feel like... I mean, given the rights to Diddy Kong Racing, I don't know. Maybe Rare owns a trademark. Now Microsoft owns a trademark to zippers. Very doubtful, considering I've looked up some of the trademarks they do or do not own. Like, just copy, like from a copyright perspective. Like, did they ever bother to copyright some very obscure things? And so I doubt anybody has a claim to zippers, but sure beats the hell out of dash panel. Come up with your own words for things. You don't need to just have it be so rote and boring. I like words that are made up for your purposes and much more evocative as a result. That dash panel is a great place to hide bananas, though, let me tell you. Never really thought about the makeup of the audience in these games. Oh, and both Bowser and Donkey Kong get pancaked. Because you can't really make out who's in the crowd there, just like you couldn't with Wario Stadium. Like nowadays, it would just be Toads and Yoshis and maybe some Koopa Troopas. But you don't really often see humans in Mario games, aside from the princesses. And the plumbers. Well, Mario and Luigi. I don't know if Wario and Waluigi are supposed to be human or if they're like elves or some sort of like gnome people. I don't know. I'm stereotyping because they have the pointy ears. Vulcans? My point being, at this point in time though, I think I would think more in terms of, yeah, there are humans living in the Mushroom Kingdom. Peach's dad, maybe her mom who we've never seen. I think in those like dubiously canon games like Hotel Mario, we might have seen characters like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing it with the Zelda game. But anyway, it's just funny how perspectives change over time. And now that they can actually populate that crowd, it's just going to be boring choices like your generic Toads that are just palette swapped and okay. Wow, I'm in second place. How did that happen? Mario doesn't care. Mario wants to take it from me. Now Peach and Toad have both taken it from me with their magic speed boost. And there's Yoshi. Oh, I dodged. You saw that. I like dodged to avoid it. I should have avoided it. I somehow still went right into it. So I thought I had a chance of actually pulling this out. I don't. I mean, anything's possible, I suppose, but given the way things have shook out here, I'm gonna say no. All right. These are odd piranha plants too. Just the gyrating blobs without any stalk. Hello to OG Girth God in the live stream. Wow, you would have been out in front on the Flower Cup earlier. All right. It's also strange how the traffic light that Lakitu uses. I guess it's not strange. It's just strange from my own cultural perspectives that it's not red, yellow, green. Yippee! Boy, that gets old. I don't think this game is as egregious as, say, Double Dash and spamming you with the obnoxious character voices, but... Alright, I need to get center or else I'm going to hit those hills, but no, see, they knew I had to center myself or I was going to have a bad poop on the hills, and then they put the banana out, and that was enough to send me back to 8th place. And then there's a banana there, and yeah, this isn't going so well for old Donkey Kong. And yeah, Donkey Kong's hard to maneuver on this this stretch of track at the finish line, unfortunately. So at this point, I don't know. Yep. I'm just gonna have fun with it. I'm just gonna have a terrible run. I'm gonna sightsee along the way. I'm gonna try it again. Fresh perspective. And they really like putting bananas in obnoxious places. Like it's hard to power slide through this track when there's danger on every new turn. And I'm so not used to getting hit with your own red shells. That's so uncommon in later Mario Kart games. Look how they blocked this off. I wonder if I can... So you can't get past where the texture changes there. You cannot... I mean, maybe with enough mushrooms you can get up over that. We're gonna have fun at the end of this series. Sometime after I'm done with the actual races, but... maybe even after I'm done with showing off battle mode, which will be a fun stream. But we're gonna try to break the environments as much as we can, which is something you can do in this Mario Kart, and it's quite enjoyable. It's one of the reasons I do still have a lot of fondness for Mario Kart 64. Alright, I think I've adequately lost, and I'm only in my second lap, so this is... it'd be... Yeah, I'm terrible at this part of the track here. I have to tell you, one thing I don't like in later Mario Kart games, Lakitu becoming a playable character. No. 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 Lakitu should not be playable in Mario Kart. Lakitu is there as your guide and your salvation when you get stuck. Having a secondary playable Lakitu raises too many questions. Like, is this the Lakitu from earlier games? Is this a completely new Lakitu? And what did he do to earn the right? That's why I don't like just characters like Koopa Troopa, Paratroopa in these types of games. I like having unique takes on these characters. That's why Diddy Kong Racing I loved so much, that it was Crunch. It wasn't just Critter. It wasn't just Kremling, it was Crunch the Kremling. And even Rare got away from that, especially the Diddy Kong pilot slash Banjo pilot. Long development cycle. Like, we thought it was Crunch in the game, but it turns out, I think it was just Critter. It wasn't even called Crunch. And then in Banjo Pilot, we had Jinjo, rather than, like, I don't know, Jerry the Jinjo. Unfortunately, the influence of Mario Kart is so pervasive that it even sullies the instincts of teams who should know better, in my opinion. But then there are other people who are just like, what are you talking about? You're an idiot. I just want to play as a Koopa Troopa because that's my favorite Mario type of character is the Koopa Troopa. I don't care that this Koopa Troopa doesn't have a biography. It's a Koopa Troopa. That's good enough for me. Damn it. You're an idiot. Shut up. I don't know. I like to know these people. They're more than just mooks to me. They're more than just bioless drones. Like there's a reason Crunch is so revered, even though he only appeared in 2 games and had limited character development, and it's because we know a little bit more about this Kremling. I'm just thinking, like, that's the way to go. Like, you're generating more characters, you're generating more IP if you take these characters in these types of games and you assign them more than just their species type. I did really well those first 2 races of the Star Cup. Oh, see, I had like a massive poomp there, and it just stopped my momentum dead. Alright, back in first. Let's see how long I can hold that. I'm sure the game has other things in mind for old Donkey Kong. Well, not old Donkey Kong is Cranky Kong. This is young Donkey Kong. Alright, you know what? If this is as good as it gets, if Yoshi, in fact, beats me, that's fine if I get second place, because I did get first. You know what? No, screw Yoshi. Keep these red shells on me. I'll try to have a successful poomp down here. Yep, that was a successful poomp. Good poomp, Donkey Kong. Good poomp. T-shirt idea. Good poop. Good poomp. All right, there we go. Woo! And that's 3 first places in a row, so standing wise, I should be able to completely whiff this last race and actually come out on top. I like how the item still circles Donkey Kong too, like the shell is still around. Oh yeah, I have nothing to worry about. There's no way, there's no hope for anyone here. Like, Yoshi's the closest, and Yoshi can get first place, and he's still gonna lose out. I've won. I won. But yeah, like, the red shell is still circling Donkey Kong, which is weird, because you'd think it would just go away. I like that. I like that he's not even using it. He's not even getting rid of it. He's just like, you know what? I feel safe with this. It's my security blanket. It's staying for as long as I'm driving around this track. Hello to John Tessier in the live stream. Jeffrin, of course, in lieu of Banjo Pilot discussion, says, or in reference to Banjo, not in lieu of Banjo Pilot, but in reference to Banjo Pilot discussion, says, missed opportunity to use the Ginginator. Yeah, the Ginginator really got ignored by Rare until Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and now the Ginginator is everywhere. Girth God says, Jerry the Jinjo needs to be canon. And John Tessier says young Donkey Kong, but spelled it Y-U-N-G. I would also accept young Donkey Kong with a J. Could be the therapist of the bunch. Psychiatrist, if you will. Alright. I'm terrible at this track, which is good. Because, guess what? I don't need to do well. I just need to finish. Yeah, I'm not going to play this game with the thwomps. Even though I am bad at this track, I still think this is the definitive Bowser Castle track for me. Everything that came before this and everything that's come since, I don't think any can quite compare to this, because there's a sense of overkill in some of them, right? They're just too much. There's too much fire, there's too much lava. I like how relatively simple this is, because I could completely buy that Bowser lives here, that this is a home. Because I mean, this is a part of it, because I imagine there's other wings, there has to be a bathroom somewhere, but this isn't so inhospitable that it's, like, just stupid. Like, I really like tracks that feel like they are actual tangible locations. Like, okay, so you can either be just a racetrack designed for racing, or you can be a location that you are racing through. But when you take the latter and you make it very, very gimmicky and racetracky, then the sense of immersion just breaks down, and I'm not as much of a fan, which is why this simpler Bowser track, still with a lot of really fun ideas, is it's my favorite, even though I'm terrible at it. See all those bananas? Ah, that's not good. How did I miss all those bananas? That was crazy. Also, you get the hand-drawn artwork of Bowser on the walls there, which is seldom seen in this era, I guess. Maybe I'm not remembering right, but it's fine. Second place. I was trying to get that mushroom in me and get it out in front of Yoshi, but it wouldn't let me use it, so it's fine. And Donkey Kong gets smooshed alongside Mario. Good try, Yoshi. Good try. Wow. Mario got third place, but only 9 points. That's a dismal showing for everyone else in the Star Cup. I say that as somebody who spent like 30 minutes trying to beat Royal Raceway, but I digress. Dun, 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 dun. I'm getting out ahead of myself here. Like I said, also my favorite trophy sequence in any Mario Kart. Every trophy sequence in every Mario Kart game since this has completely fallen on its face compared to this. The only one that's come close is Super Circuit, because Super Circuit is just basically this, but scaled down and not right in front of the castle. But I Double Dash didn't do it for me. Mario Kart 8 doesn't even try. They don't even have an actual like progression of the characters, like a parade. Here they are, here's the top 3, aren't they great? You just have a results screen and you get the trophy, which for as much good as Mario Kart 8 does do, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will hopefully rectify the mistakes of Mario Kart 8, i.e. lack of Diddy at the very least. What the hell? Like, give me my podium. I want a Mario Kart game where they break open the bubbly and shower each other with champagne. And it has to be actual champagne. It has to be from the Champagne region of the Mushroom Kingdom. Let's do the special cup. Let me see that actually, yeah, okay. I don't know, just making sure it's saved. It's weird. It's weird not playing this on a cartridge, let me tell you. Alright, DK's Jungle Parkway. Let's go. Of course, Donkey Kong gets the speed boost because it's his track. It's his track. I still really want to know if this is actually Donkey Kong's home track or if it was just repurposed to be Donkey Kong's home track once they added the rare Donkey Kong to the game. There's I think it's a fake screenshot online of Kamek racing in DK's Jungle Parkway. I think it's a forgery. I've never seen Super Mario Bros. Address this, so I don't know, but last time I made mention of how the instruction manual says that the restless natives of the jungle are throwing fruit at you. I don't think that explanation completely holds water, though, just because you never see monkeys in the trees. You never see, Kongs just off screen. So, I don't know. I could see this being like a Choco Mountain situation where there's just a constant stream of falling fruit. And, it's harvest season, and it just naturally... I'm gonna hit that fake item block. No, I hit the banana instead. I hit the fucking banana peel instead. And I spun out. Wow. I was so cocky and confident because this was Donkey Kong's home track, and so it's hard to make out the textures there because they're so blurry, but it looks like you see that reddish yellow green plant there. That looks like a Venus flytrap, very similar to the Venus flytrap seen in the Lost World of Donkey Kong Country 2. Now, they're positioned a little bit higher. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's just a mess of unseemly mid-90s cardboard texturing to simulate a jungle in a game that absolutely cannot simulate a jungle. At least it tries. I guess it does better than Donkey Kong 64 does. Jungle japes. Here's some palm trees and hills and hella vines. I mean, Jungle Japes looks better, don't get me wrong. This looks like garbage, but... yeah, I mean, bravo for them for even attempting a jungle at this stage. Why am I even bothering? Why don't I just quit? It's the first race of the Special Cup. No! Ew! Ew! What was I doing? I just expected it to be saved in Donkey Kong. The game should know my preferences. Future Mario Kart games just start you on your last character. I haven't addressed, the lore of why Donkey Kong's even racing in this race, in this Grand Prix, in Mario Kart 64, what prompted him to enter this? And I like to imagine that it was Mario who reopened communications with the Kongs. Maybe his guilt got the best of him. Because there has to be some sort of time jump, right? If we're to accept Mario canon at face value, the Mario series at face value, with the Donkey Kong series, with Rare's Donkey Kong, if we're to accept both as equally valid, then there has to be a time jump at some point between the Super Nintendo games and the N64 era for the timelines to sync up. For Mario to reestablish a relationship with the adult modern Donkey Kong. And for them to have many competitions and little adventures together throughout the years since. So I like to imagine that sometime after Super Mario RPG, there's just a gap in time in the Mario series, a period of relative peace and harmony until Super Mario 64. And in that gap is a lot happens, or a lot doesn't happen maybe, but that's where Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land and so on come in, and then the timelines sync up then when we get to Mario Kart 64. And yeah, I like to think that maybe Mario, having become a more established hero in the Mushroom Kingdom, sort of this savior of this realm, thinks back to the first real extraordinary event of his life, which was the time he fought a gorilla on a construction site and then abducted said gorilla and tortured him in front of the gorilla's son. So I like to think that, where did that green shell come from? That's terrifying. I like to think that eventually Mario, because he's mostly a stand-up dude, he was like, I was young, I was brash, I was stupid. I need to atone for what happened. And so he, they established a warp pipe connection with the Donkey Kong Island. And because Mario knew where Donkey Kong Island was, he was presumably there in at least Donkey Kong Jr. I know people will argue about the setting of the original Donkey Kong, Big Ape City versus New Donk City versus Brooklyn, but I think Donkey Kong Jr. takes place on Donkey Kong Island in the Congo jungle. And so Mario's like sometime late 96, early 97, depending on your perspective of when this game takes place, Mario approached Donkey Kong's treehouse, hat in hand, and said, do you remember me? And I'm sure there was some harsh words like, get the fuck off my property. And it's like, no, I want to offer you a chance to... We're having another go-kart race in the Mushroom Kingdom, and we want to know if you want to take part. And this would have been right after Donkey Kong was the brain of chaos in Donkey Kong Country 3. So I'm sure he'd be in a weird headspace. He'd be like, you know, I need to actually get away, and like my one getaway with Diddy turned out to be ruinous. So why not, if I get away to the Mushroom Kingdom, well, there's probably not going to be any chance of K-Rool being there. And I'm sure Cranky fought him on this. Like, you will not engage with that man who brought so much hardship to our family. But saying, you know, Donkey Kong's an independent spirit, and he was like, I'm going to do what I want to do, old man. And I'm going to show up Mario. I'm going to prove that Kongs are the superior species. And, Anyway, so I like to imagine that's what brought them together here. And it was Mario trying to turn over a new page after an appropriate amount of time. And it was Donkey Kong, at first probably motivated by animosity towards what happened in the arcade games, but also probably with the realization that, hey, originally Cranky was in the wrong too. Like Mario would have never taken those extremes in Donkey Kong Jr. had Cranky not been the total dick first, right? So, you know, eventually, of course, they did strike up a frenemy relationship, and eventually I think just became solid friends. That's not good. I fell all the way. I did the tumble. I mean, you shouldn't do the tumble, because the tumble's gonna set you back. And what just happened there? What prompted that? That's fine. I'm just gonna lose. I'm just gonna lose, and it's fine. It happens. I would rather get a good. I would rather get a good finish in Yoshi's Valley than having to worry about Banshee Boardwalk. Banshee Boardwalk is the one that I worry about. Let me tell you. Just hoping I could take out Bowser. You know what? Oh no! I thought I was gonna get second and I got third. That's not good. That really puts a lot of pressure on old Donkey Kong from here on out in the Special Cup. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, but as you can see, Bowser's now ahead. And, yeah, so I'm gonna have to get first on Banshee Boardwalk. Not where I want to be right now, if I'm honest. I just said how much I didn't want that to be the case, and then I screwed up. I thought I was gonna get second, and I got third, and I never get third, so... And now, you know, of course the game's gonna go all in on Bowser as the rival, because... Nope. Into the water I went. Because, yeah, the game feels like there's blood in the water now. I mean, I don't know if Donkey Kong was bleeding when he was in the water, but metaphorically there's blood in the water. and Mario Kart 64 realizes it. Not impossible to catch up at this point, but I have to get a little lucky, and I also can't fall in the water again. What did I just spin out on? I didn't even see anything. Ah! Oh, Mario Kart 64. What is even happening with that spiny shell? Did you see that? It was going all over the place. Alright, yeah. I've mentally checked out from this race. Speaking, I thought I could jump the gap there, and apparently there was just wasn't even a solid platform on the other side. I just went right through. Speaking to like Donkey Kong being a rival, or not just a rival, but an actual antagonist to Mario during this time, it is presented as such in the game's artwork. He's often portrayed like against Bowser, Wario, and Donkey Kong. The box art even, you know, has that pairing, and so okay. Trying to fall enough behind so I won't accidentally finish in a solid place, but I don't think I'm running the risk of that anymore. Just, what are you even spitting out for, Peach? I'm giving you the lead there in front of me. Anyway. And I think the Super Mario Brothers movie will finally put that sort of philosophy to bed that, yes, Mario and Donkey Kong, they are frenemies, but more emphasis on the friend than the enemy. And especially with Nintendo now, like, behind Donkey Kong as its own brand and wanting to keep the portrayals consistent, I think we've fully passed the point where Donkey Kong is viewed as a villain to the Mario series, which is incongruous with, of course, the Donkey Kong series, where he's, you know, a good guy, especially when paired with Diddy. Remember when I was a kid, wondering, like, B-E, what the seeming letters that appeared from the power sliding, the drifting, actually meant. Victory in Europe? Like, what? Alright, where are you, Luigi? Damn it, damn it, damn it. Doesn't matter where Luigi is, because I'm gonna lose. Once I take the dip. That's the end of the trip. That's the rhyme. And I hate when two shrunken drivers can run into each other like that. That shouldn't be the case. It should only be when a large driver drives over you that you get smushed. But to have both of you get smushed, it's excessive. It's too much. It's overkill. I said, like, Double Dash and Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii had a lot more overkill when it came to item balance, but and like the items would just be devastating. But there are a lot of little flourishes to the way Mario Kart 64 does it that can be quite ruinous to your lap. Like, I feel like Mario Kart 8 definitely struck a healthier tone between items being just items or events being completely unrecoverable from, and then them actually having some effect and helping you out if you're using them to get back ahead. Just what's scary is this is just the middle tier. Like, this isn't even 150cc. It's a lot harder than I remember. Like, I remember it being challenging, but I think it's because of how unrefined it is to later installments, to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a little floatier, it's a little jankier, janky Kang. And I have to get first place. I'm not going to go into Rainbow Road needing some, like, miraculous balancing of the points. I need to get out ahead and stay ahead. And I need to do that here on Banshee Boardwalk. I need to have a successful run. What the hell? And spinning out when you get lightning too, that sucks. Because yeah, I just lost control there, and I went right into the water. And there's no way to anticipate that when the lightning strikes. Oh, and of course that was a fake block. I should have seen how he was out in front, but I didn't. I wasn't that observant. Alright. I was doing well for like the first half of the first lap. Red shells are useless. Like, outside of the big sprawling circuits, red shells are pretty just irrelevant in this game. How did Wario stay neck and neck with me with the super mushroom? That sucks. And I'm always doing this. I'm always hitting the wall there. You know, fine. It's fine. It would have taken a lot to overcome Bowser anyway. I shouldn't get upset that this run fell apart again at the end. Lakadu's fingers are well animated. Can I just point that out? Like, that's not, like, people rag on the character models being sprites, but that's not something you could have seen if they were just all polygons. Lakitu counting you down with his fingers. Yeah, for that little zigzag part of the bridge, I'm just, like, taking my finger off the accelerator. I realize that's not the best way to play. I realize it is what it is, but it's how I'm going to do it, because so much of this track requires precision that Donkey Kong doesn't really have as a character in this game. Get out in front of one of them. There's that little part of the bridge where you think or the boardwalk that you think you can get over that little gap, and you just can't do it, and I fall for it. I fall for it every time, at least once. No matter how many years I've played this game, I can't overcome that little thing, but I try. I try because I think you should be able to, and I saw that coming, and I couldn't move in time. And I didn't hit any of those item blocks, and this is just going poorly for me. There's an item. Okay, good. I don't think there's a chance of catching up, but things could break my way, like having a star. But where's Peach now? How's Peach out ahead? That's crazy. Peach has been a non-factor, right? I'm gonna go for it. If I finish second there, because Peach has been like, where's she been at? She hasn't been part of this. She's been the also ran, right? So I just have to crunch the numbers here since I committed to this. Well, Donkey Kong's now ahead. So Donkey Kong has to at least finish second. No. Donkey Kong. Yes, that's right. That's right. Donkey Kong has to finish. No, I take it back because Bowser wins. Bowser gets 9 points, then Bowser's at 27. No, that's 11. What am I taking? That's 25. Okay, math is hard. Bowser would be at 25. So yeah, I have to basically make sure Bowser doesn't finish in the top slot, or I just get first place and beat Bowser. But it's Rainbow Road. Who doesn't love Rainbow Road? I feel like there are more opportunities to regain your lead here in Rainbow Road, and there's not stupid crap like falling into the water, which has bedeviled me across the entire Special Cup. Well, that and falling into the canyon. So yeah, if I can keep Bowser behind Donkey Kong, I can still finish a cool second, and it's okay. So much of this game is just doing math with points. Oh, man. Peach is just really taking off. I suppose I can drift more here, considering there's nothing to fall into. There's just the chomps. The metallic chomps that roam free here. I know I said it last time, but I really want neon signs from Rainbow Road, like as merchandise. I would buy one. I would buy the Donkey Kong one. I know I've talked some trash about Mario Kart 64 today, but I hope everyone knows that it's in good nature. I do really have a lot of fondness for this. Even the parts that haven't aged well, I still find endearing in their own way. And this game really did set the template. I know, damn it! That chomp that's a bad place for the chomp to come up because it was where the gravity just sort of works against you. Super Mario Kart came first, but I really feel like it was Mario Kart 64 that set the template for what Mario Kart would be going forward. I feel like it's the game that really a certain generation glommed onto and played just the hell out of it. I mean, played it to death. I guess there's a banana hiding on the Rainbow Road there. See that banana? Not to take away how revolutionary Super Mario Kart was, or for that matter, RC Pro-Am, which doesn't get its due. I'm sure there are other games that were foundational, but those are two. But yeah, it was Mario Kart 64 that really, I think, started to turn Mario Kart into more of a household name. Just like Super Smash Brothers for the N64 was obviously first, but it was Melee that really made Super Smash Brothers into this massive focal point of everything Nintendo. And it did lay the groundwork for the Cameo game that we would get quite a bit of starting in 1999. Even this cast, this Mario Kart 64 cast, would form the basis. Like Mario Party is in some ways a spiritual sequel to, not even just a spiritual sequel, but a thematic sequel to Mario Kart 64, given that it's 6 of the 8 characters arguing about who is the bigger star, right? Who is the true superstar amongst them, which I feel like the only context you would have for that would be Mario Kart 64. Like why they're all like arguing about that, why they all think they would be on equal ground. Damn, I just completely lost. Was it using the boost there that did me in? That hill's tricky. I could have attempted the shortcut, but I didn't want to put myself out. Yeah, I need Bowser to just F right off because Bowser cannot beat me in this lap, or else Donkey Kong gets silver. Donkey Kong doesn't do silver. Donkey Kong shits on a golden toilet. No, it actually doesn't. I would imagine Donkey Kong shits in a wooden toilet, or it'd be like bamboo, or like, I don't know, it'd be very earthy looking. I would like to see Donkey Kong's toilets, all of them, in fact. You think Donkey Kong uses a bidet? I do. That much fur, you would have to. I said 6 of the 8 characters in Mario Party. Of course, Toad was like the peacemaker. He didn't really have any stake in it. He didn't want to argue this because he had no designs on being a superstar, and Bowser wasn't included because Bowser was still seen as the evil villain, and so Bowser was like, "How dare you?" and tried to muck everything up. Luigi, I swear to God, if you ruin this for me. That's what you get, Luigi. That's what you get for even thinking that you're better than Donkey Kong, because you're not. I think the movie proved that. Super Mario Brothers movie, where were you? And where was Donkey Kong? That's right, because you don't rank. That was fun. It was Rainbow Road. It always uplifts your spirits, right? Like, you can have a miserable session, and you can end it on Rainbow Road, and it just sets you right. 'Tis the magic of the N64 Rainbow Road. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Hello, Alcasaurus Rex. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. So yeah, that's the end of our stream today. I want to watch a little trophy ceremony, but during that, let me promote what's coming up for DK Vine. So we have a conversation mini popping up this week about the recent appearance of Funky Kong on Saturday Night Live. We have also another conversation we have in the works for, it's a spotlight episode for Mario Kart Super Circuit, so very appropriate to be plugging that on this one. Then this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. BST, DK Vine Stream of Thieves. Come join us for Rare's latest and greatest game on the high seas. This Tuesday, the Idaho crew will be beginning their next game. They finally wrapped up the Banjo-thon. Thought they were done last time. Turns out they didn't quite finish. They did finish last night and wrapped it up in a cool 2 hours too. So what DKU game or DKU adjacent game will they stream? Find out this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I will be back here next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. BST for another installment of DK Vine Done Slow Mario Kart 64. We will attempt 150cc, and I will talk more about Donkey Kong and his role in the game. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.